Okay. So here I find interesting reference can use for Doctor Strange illustration. So так, let's see. So quick recap. So what is a perspective grid and 3D space or 3D form is kind of this box logic. So when we have one dimension represented by vertical axis, y-axis, then second dimension will be like z-axis, and third dimension x-axis. So box is just set of this three axes, which is a repeat kind of, right? So, and in perspective, there is like a lot of variations, a lot of reason why and how this three axes will be distorted. So like, like we can have vanishing point. So one of axis, like a z-axis, for example, will be convergent in this vanishing point. Or we can have like also like curvilinear when axis, like y-axis here, will be like curved. And yeah, so all these typical like types of perspective grids you can see in my tutorials. And then we can actually we can do some weird stuff with it. And it's kind of also point or what I mention all the time is like first you need to really understand principles, and then this knowledge of essentials will make you able to do something really fancy, really cool, like something like here. So you see how kind of surreally distorted view here. So let's say if we break down this perspective grid, what do we see? So we have like two main area in this picture. It's a road, which is kind of normal perspective. We can see something like this in the real life. So it's like if we have vanishing point and horizon line here for this road, and it can have like this multiply points and have like vanishing trace, all the stuff like in my tutorials about drawing roads in perspective. So it's a one part here of this picture. It's a perspective of this road surface. And the second part, let me erase this. Second part, so here's a road. Second part is this spiral. And what is happen here is very interesting. So we have like a center, and so let's say like x-axis. Yeah, x-axis have this axis will do this kind of long spiral movement, kind of like this. and z-axis, z-axis, making this kind of movement. And then y-axis. Y-axis will be like this. Yeah. So this is XYZ. Let's for this one. So it's X, Y. Wrong color. So this X. So this gray color. And Z, it's a blue. Hello, Matthew. Need to use proper memes, proper GIFs. So, for example, so we'll see how we can build a box in this perspective grid. So you see this is vertical, then this are Z, and this X. So this is point of using perspective grid. It's not about like correct and stuff. It's about establishing space. Like I say, it can be like distorted, surreal kind of space. Like here. So like some kind of scene from Doctor Strange. Hello, Huron. Yeah, it's like interstellar or Doctor Strange. I don't know. It's like I never seen perspective grid like this, so I was just like stumble upon this reference. It's like, and perspective here is so wrong. Like I mean, like is not consistent. Perspective here is not consistent, but I made up my own perspective grid, so we can draw this view with a perspective grid. So you see kind of, right, like we have this is just proper road here, and then here it's like crazy surreal stuff. And again, like these brown lines, it's a vertical axis. This gray line, it's our x-axis, and z, it's z, or blue, it's a z-axis. So it's kind of everything about perspective is kind of like this. You just play around with this axis, and you need to train your eye to be kind of comfortable with no matter kind of how weird it looks for you. It's because it's kind of without, when you don't have experience, when you're a beginner, everything is counterintuitive in perspective. Like it doesn't obvious. You need to calculate. You need to kind of build it, right? So you use. So here is the, yeah. So you follow kind of guides and make sure it's proper according to guidelines. Так. So let's say here we have this box. And stuff like that. So we have very twisted, crazy. Так. Yeah, no, it's like a mushroom or something like this. It's like a mushroom perspective. Yeah, yeah, deconstruct, reconstruct. Так. So. Oh, laundry. Так, laundry perspective. Так. Yeah, yeah, I need to make some action sounds. Так. Yeah. Last time I can't remember the word. Now I remember. It's synesthesia. So it's funny, right? Like somehow we have. Well, go here. Actually, it's like at least me. I have this sounds for movements and sounds like for line type. So when you draw like a quick line, it's kind of this whiz sound, right? When like a short line, or it's like long line, or it's thin or bold, they have their own sounds. And I think I'm sure it's kind of convention also. I think it's many other people also have this kind of perception, and artists actually use it to make this kind of like subconsciousness musical effect in your work by quality of lines and also patterns. Patterns, they are like subconsciously they perceived like this music. Let's do this one. Onomatopoeia. No. Oh, Google, what does this mean? Onomatopoeia. I hear this term before, but forget. Так. Let's see. Just example here of this grid. And here I will draw Doctor Strange. Так. Yeah, I see. So, так. So here we have like doing some magic stuff. Oh, cool. Yeah, I have this pencil brush. Yeah, it's this model is really good. Like if other pentel brush, like Kim Jong-gi used before a lot, like long one, I don't like because it's always getting dry and you kind of need to press it. It's like, don't know, very inconvenient. So because like with this long pentel brush, which you need to press, eventually, like all the time, I draw like a dry. It's like half dry all the time. So very annoying. But this one is like always steady flow. This Kuritake pentel. Так. Kind of legs like this. Okay. So, so looking for interesting shape for a road. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to talk about like ideas for comic books. It's better to draw than tell about what you want to draw. It's like it's kind of danger trap because you like okay, so here I drew X because eventually you kind of became more like better at talking about your plans than actually doing something. So, so here so here's X, Y, and Z. Z, it's a spiral. No, it's not like a secretive. I think it's different term. It will be more proper. It's just a creative process is like this. If you, it's kind of like a very personal inner thing. Like you should read how's this guy like not David Lynch. Who write it? Crazy. Like how can I forget? Um, horror writer, like most famous horror writer. So you see kind of how this grid is creating this like composition also. So you, when you became like more comfortable with perspective, you start to see how this is not just property of realism or something like correct work. No, it's also composition tool. No, no, not Alan Moore. Like more most famous horror writer. Forget just writer. He write manga Shining, and it. So here you see, like, if I want, I can find perspective for road. First, you can just like draw road as a shape, and then I find perspective grid. Like in my tutorial about drawing roads, perspective grid for a road surface is very tricky thing, especially when you have like very wavy road. So then it became is more not just about road in perspective, but about drawing vehicles on a road surface. So because like for drawing vehicles, which is boxes, right? Like all these vehicles, they're like boxes. For them, you need perspective grid. So like here. Так. It's kind of like a quiz. Who wrote Shining? He also wrote Green Mile, writer of a Green Mile. Green Mile, yeah. And Escape from Shawshank, I think. Yeah, cool. Так. Yeah, better to this way. Yeah, Stephen King. It's just sometimes you forget some word or somebody name, which is like on the surface, but cannot remember for a weird reason. Так, so can make actually this X spiral more. So Stephen King, he have a book. It's like autobiography, and also he teach about how to write. Maybe it's just called like this, like How to Write by Stephen King. A very small book, and he talking about his creative process. Like in his writing process, it's kind of like a three stages. First stage, it's a draft when you just write whatever you want, like whatever you want. Just sit like a, it's kind of called like a mind vomit or something like this, right? It's just like, and it's like when you write stuff like this, you do it alone. You kind of close your door so nobody can see what you're writing there. It's just, it's totally private thing because it's important to take out anyone from this, to don't have any perspective on it, you know. It's just, it should be like absolutely unbiased, kind of uncensored. Whatever insanity you can just have in mind, like whatever just picking out, like throwing out from you, kind of just write what anything without any critic and analysis. And then uh he like, yeah, maybe then it's like a four stages. I need to read again. So anyways, this one is like you don't show anyone, you just write your thing. And then you look back, you read all the stuff you write, and you make it more structuralized, like make this kind of more cohesive, coherent kind of draft. And then you can show this draft to like your special person who you trust, who have like you trust his opinion, like he have some understanding about writing process, so he know he can give you good advice or good like perspective kind of on what you do, right? Like maybe he will see some like plot holes or something, just give you some feedback. So in a Stephen King, it's his wife, so he will wife and couple close friends, so they give him feedback or they just talk about this draft for a bit, and then he go back and he write like second draft, and after he make final work. So important here you see is like on the first stage you don't tell anyone what you do, you don't show process, nobody should be able to interrupt you, like, you know, like go inside and look over your shoulder, like see like what you know, like what you draw, because if you will have in mind like somebody can see what you do, it will distract your flow, it will distract like kind of your ideas. It's like a filter, right? Like you don't need filter on the first stage, this kind of idea. So it's kind of, is not like secrecy or something, it's just um, very fragile nature of a creative process, like this first stage when you want open kind of door for ideas to flow through you, kind of, right? uh, you really want to be like as less filters as possible. Так. Okay, so now let's draw some buildings here. So this is like a spiral drawn view, because like we see city like a down shot. Так, so it's zoom like this. So, and I think this book of Stephen King, How to Write, is like really like must read for everybody who writing something. It's like, I mean, he is currently, he lost kind of his world perspective for sure. But it's just like how things were, like before it was such thing as moderate liberals. Like me, I was like artist by definition. It's kind of liberal, but now it's like they don't have moderate liberals. They force everyone to be radical, kind of like lunatic communists. So he kind of like old man. I can forgive him for that. No big deal. And anyway, kind of like I also there is also kind of art world perspective, which is like beyond politics. I also kind of agree with that. I'm aware of such thing. It's just like in reality, you cannot be really outside of politics. It's just impossible. But it's kind of like a paradox, or kind of paradox quality of our world. You kind of need to keep controversial things in your mind simultaneously. And again, if like for not creative people or not like intellectual people, it's not something necessary. For us, is really necessary. If you're not able to hold opposite kind of thoughts in your mind, you just kind of not really not ready kind of for serious kind of intellectual creative process. Because like it making you um, rigid and fanatical if you only focus on one thing. I don't know, anyway, it's hard to for me to explain the stuff. So here you see what we also have. We need to consider this change of scale, like how these buildings closer, they're bigger, because we have this kind of groups of buildings. So here this is crazy. So this my y axis. Okay, yeah, maybe like what I mean by being having like two opposite thoughts in the same time in your mind. It's like being serious and kind of laughing about all this thing in the same time. Like because you see how ridiculous it is, So, because it's really like impossible to sometimes if you like look on what is happening like in the human life. It's really funny. Так. So here it's z, x, z, x, y. Yeah, so basically, like if you read like Stephen King, he kind of gives. So to kind of forget what I'm here. He kind of gives like all you need for writing. Actually, and here's this book. It's like this advice is actually all you need. Так, so if here we have this. Like this. And he has this like insane discipline. It's like best example of a artist discipline. Or like work ethic can call it too. Так. Make here crossroad. Yeah, like work ethic more important than talent. Так. So what happened here also with the roofs? Like farther these roofs go, it's like from let's say this kind of ratio, it will become like more and more narrow. It's like farther as I go inside here. Here's yeah, totally. Yeah, like work ethic can maybe it's like only way actually to handle your anxiety or like artist block, because you kind of like um, your condition, your emotional state, it's something will ever like it will always catch you, like no matter how much you train yourself, how much you um, experienced and like you read psychology or whatever, I think it's always will screw you. It's kind of nature of this kind of things. It will always find way how to uh, disbalance kind of you, right? Like shake you out of balance. So only way to deal with it is kind of ignore it and you just like focus on important stuff. Так, see, here's like this. And also like more you make your emotions important for you, more kind of like more vulnerable you became. It's just like feeding your weakness, basically. Yeah, it's just learning how to be more weak and easy to collapse. It's like, oh, I don't have cookie today. I cannot draw. It's like, oh, there's no hot water in the shower. Oh, it's a rain. It's a rain outside. It's so unfair. And you're like psychologist, very happy you call for every time there's no real problem. Just, doctor, I need to help. It's like, what problem? What problem? What happened to me? There's no there's no hot water in the shower. Oh no, really, it's very important. It's very serious. You cannot handle it yourself. You need to come to my office immediately. We need to talk it out. Maybe you have some dream we need to discuss. Так. Ooh. And then you go to doctor, and doctor say like, we have new theory. It's like really cool, really like top notch theory. It will help you fix all your problems. Say, yeah, doctor, help me. What should I do? I want to be happy. Say, cut your balls. Say, really? Say, yeah, for sure, like guarantee. Okay, like doctor, you tell me. Probably it's gonna work. You're a professional, right? I want to be like happy artist. So, and here also interesting, you see this moment like it's especially became important kind of, let's say, in this area, right? It's what I'm talking about, abstract to the quality. So it's like here what is happened. Here we're dealing now with a pattern. So you need to first of all calculate and establish pattern of this shape of roofs, like shape of rooftops, right? So you still kind of have this like rooftops as a pattern. And then we have this like building sites, and it's also became kind of pattern. So you see like we have arrangement of a pattern. So here inside this narrow shape, it's a roofs, for example, like one element like of 2D abstraction. And here it's building sites, right? So it's like you're making this gradient of pattern in a composition in this kind of wheel. So you see we have, and it's very important. And kind of like you can make little like exception, well, like draw one roof in between here. But with this approach, most importantly, you can really establish this design composition. If you will exclude this idea of making 2D shapes, 2D pattern, you will like only focus on perspective, you will lost this dynamic. And it's like here you will just make a mess. It will just like blah, and lost momentum. So if in order to make this clear movement, clear momentum, you should work kind of, now it's like you shift your priority from 3D to 2D. So here is actually is like more two-dimensional in this area here than three-dimensional. I seen some drawings of Treadmore of Doctor Strange. Yeah, he like went totally like groovy It's like hard, even hard to perceive for me. So let's see. So here, what I'm do, I want to first, I will do like a dynamic kind of movement of these rooftops. Yeah, and we kind of can see this stuff in the Melbius and in the Treadmoor. He like very good with such stuff. It's kind of like I was observing and learned this stuff from them. Again, you see, it's like you really can learn a lot from analyze your favorite artist, because this is not in the books anywhere, or like you might find some books, but you will not really understand what is mean. How can you use it? How can you apply this kind of theory about abstract composition? So studying favorite artist is kind of solve a lot of problems simultaneously. It's like I don't know, like how to say it, like for YouTube, I'll say like entertain two birds with one stone. But it's not just two birds. In this case, it's like 25 birds. It's really like you solving so many problems, finding so many answers by studying other artists. So here I can also add his clock. Let's see. So yeah, and like if we have a road like this, I can also think like how can I maybe reflect some movement on his clock. Let's see. What's kind of improvisation here? We'll see. So we have roofs, then drop. Like my favorite, like like artistic wise, it's New World by Treadmoor. I think it's really like you have so many cool frames there. Like after when he started to make like Silver Surfer and this Doctor Strange, he kind of like went too far for this like bubble shapes, which is like not really in my taste. Kind of became more like abstract illustration than comic book for me. He's like push this surreal throttle on the maximum. So let's see vehicles. You can make like some vehicles flying. So it's like a kind of magnetic field here. Hmm. Here actually, like this. Maybe one totally fly from road. Cool. Yeah, maybe can do other time like Toriyama style something. I think like something, it should be something kind of unexpected, like a Toriyama Terminator or Matrix. It's like Toriyama Sicario and John Wick. Yeah, John Wick in the Toriyama style. This should be cool. You killed my dog. Big mistake. Why you make angry babushka? Babushka will revenge. So basically now when I have boxes for buildings, it's just helped me to draw these buildings constructions, so I can make it more like playful, more random. Because I want to show this like different type of buildings. They will not so boxy like here. It's just like very basic shapes to help me draw buildings later. Yeah, I can make like John Wick in a rage mode. Так, let me. So, okay, okay, okay. Yeah. Oh, oh. Oh, look, so big nail. Close. Oh, it's a danger cat. Danger cat. What's that? Okay. Uh, 1 minute break for a second. Need to refill my tea. Так.
This is Gene Bond Art.
Yeah. Так, so let's take 8 fineliner. mm, yeah, maybe actually I can put one more car here. Or I want this line. Let's see if I put car here. Okay, there maybe like this. It's kind of weird how in Taiwan can be cold. And I was very surprised. And like right now, if I move to middle of Taiwan or to south, it's very hot there. But on the north, it's kind of chilling sometimes. Because they also like in Asia, they make buildings very cold. It's like here is a stone everywhere, like stone floor. So if it's like autumn or winter, um, like right now, it's even might be like outside is warmer than in the house. So here just some random car model. So here. Mm, my favorite thing about Taiwan, and maybe it's really like a culture or like people, because they really like I never see like community like this, because they're like it's like a very low level of aggression. It's like everybody nice, everybody smile, and it's very comfortable. It's like never seen anything like this. So I kind of like always invite artists to visit Taiwan to draw here around, because it's kind of like this thing like about like how cool people here, you even cannot imagine. You really need to came here and experience it yourself, because it's like parallel universe. Like you need to see it to really understand uh, well, what I'm talking about, and it's also kind of uh, it's very clean, like very organized and clean. So really nice society here. So people say it's like um, mix of a real China culture with a Japanese culture. Because like if we talk about PRC, like mainland China, is not real China, because um, they like from beginning, like when this Communist Party, like how say, like how they when they invade kind of this mainland China, what they did from beginning, they destroy China culture. So this PRC, like People Republic of China, right? Currently, it's not a China, it's imposter. It's a fake country by definition, because they themselves like did everything possible to destroy everything Chinese. Somehow they don't succeed because it's communist. They always fail, and now they want to monetize, and they want to kind of propagate on this image of them as like ancient country with like longest history in the world, you know. It's kind of con con people. As communists, they always like this. Imposters, liars. So here's kind of small trunk. Let's see. What's this? Something like uh yeah, like if talking about something like I don't like and hard to adapt. This kind of funny paradox again is like kind of it might sounds funny and uncohesive. Same time, it's kind of like I'm being more accustomed to stressful environment, where aggressive kind of environment. So uh, I don't like when it's too comfortable. So I need to like make my state like more kind of push myself. I need to push myself and without having actual pressure because I'm just like from more like I say it's like in Taiwan it's like people really like more relax and easygoing in general, especially if you go outside from capital. It's like small town, like where I'm living is kind of small town. So like provincial people, they're very not rush anywhere. So they're not have much like ambition, pressure on themselves. So it's kind of like after some time, it's really became like feeling like you lack this kind of like um yeah, just like more aggressive community, whereas they was like, hey, why you so lazy? Kind of why you kind of too nice for yourself. Kind of this, but it's kind of it's really hard to say for me, and I don't want to say like who is right, who is wrong. I just already kind of accustomed for this. So like same with internet, like now in internet, if you say someone like he is like too lazy or he's kind of soft like a baby, it's like, oh my god, you're so rude, you're so aggressive. So like, really? Like, I mean, just kind of this plank is so low, like with like pressure so low, kind of in internet. So like everything you say might be like considered like aggressive behavior. And in the same time, like yeah, I'm definitely like in Russia, like people rude. They often really rude and um, maybe like um, yeah, kind of rude and aggressive, can say, compared to Asians in general. And I kind of like me, I distinct like it's a really big difference between aggressive and like evil or bad people. It's like aggressive is just like edgy. You kind of being edgy. That's it. You are not like violent or. But now again, I don't know like what happened in Russia. Like I don't been in Russia like about 9 years. And when you live outside of country, you really don't know what, like, how is history changing inside. Like you lost connection of connection with this like culture and spirit, maybe. Yeah. Like when I was in China in 2013, it was really mind blowing. Like I met some Russians in Shanghai, and you can see who left Russia at what time period. So if you meet somebody who left Russia at 1990s, they look like people from 1990s. They have like, I don't know, like wearing clothes like from like a Russian people in the 1990s. They speak kind of like they're totally like people from this time period. So for them, they kind of became like frozen in this uh, period of time because they living abroad. It's really crazy. Like so, like in 2013, it was already like different time in like totally different vibes kind of inside Russia. But these people, they still kind of keep being this like old-fashioned Russian people. So it's really like I get a lot of interesting concepts about psychology and theory of personality for myself from from travel abroad. Так, okay, need to focus here. So it's like this observation kind of helped me give me understanding how much our personality, like who you think you are, is connected with environment, with your society where you live in. So because when you quit, when you leave your society, when you like it's you like in the case of Russia and China, it's like totally different cultures. So you take yourself moving out to totally different environment, and what you did, you bring piece of your like society as yourself, you move it there, right? So now you have like you cannot be yourself without having idea of what is a community and how community should be, right? That's why it's a big issue in the USA when people like concerned about illegal immigrants from third world, from some like wild places where there's like like total chaos, because like one thing when is like filtered, like really socially um, good kind of people and selectively going inside your country, and is not so many of them, it's one thing. But when you bring like 1 million people, they will establish same community in your country. Like, do you want to turn like you like your community into some kind of mafia state where it's like gangsters with a machete walking in the streets? It's like it's kind of very obvious. It should be very obvious, but some people like negating this reality kind of. Yeah, him and his. Yeah, you was like I will say it's like you is like three, maybe three components. It's genes. Is like you basically you kind of mix of your parents, and you like continue kind of adventure of your parents' genes. So second component is like which environment been in your, at least let's say like first period of your life, right? It's definitely like, and um so it's like four components. So it's like your genes, your early environment, then it will be your habits, which is you develop based on your genes and the early environment. And then number four is like where you physically right now, like what kind of current environment you have, right? So it's kind of four, I will say four components. Yeah, yeah, it's also interesting. Like, don't not talking about like knowledge, how knowledge will be, which where we put knowledge is like environment. Yeah, maybe knowledge is environment because like if you're like uh, reading book, it's also kind of community because it's like if it's like um, it's like dead people community, let's say, right? You're connecting with other peoples through books. So can say it's like also books as some kind of form of is like your way to is to form community around yourself. It's like how you can move physically somewhere, and you also can choose who you listen to and who you speak to. And reading book, it's kind of like a listen some person. Yeah, book about nature of person. Because like I think this is kind of all idea is about all this media kind of, right? We basically we make like archive, or we make like amplification of a social experience, like right now, right? Like you don't have maybe like friend artist, and you kind of watching some streams like this, because it's your subconscious eager for this community, like for such kind of conversations. Mm. Hello, Ninjak. Yeah, all fine. Everything is good. Так, so it's here. Yeah. Yeah, never know. Like soon we will have like AI pretending be human around. Yeah, no, maybe like one day, like everybody will got this like um, neural links, and then it slowly will change your real perception of real world to virtual world. And then you will like meet people, talk with people you don't know. It's already kind of hologram. Yeah. Okay. So for like only thing saving me from panic about future, it's like if you look back, it's always when we have new technologies, it's always been panic. Always like, oh, we have computers now. Computer will destroy all world. It was like, oh, we have calculators. Now calculators will kill all humans. So after we're laughing about this, it's like, yeah, yeah. And eventually life will kill you. So no matter what, no matter what kind of technology and all the stuff. Anyway, yeah, I was already saying it's like I think AI art is it's like right now we have like photography, movie, computer games, sculpture, whatever. So same will happen with AI art. It will be just like another form of uh, another media, maybe. You can call it art, you can not call it art. It's just like another option. So people can say like, oh, I like oil paintings, or like I like photography, I like movies. It's just like its own thing in its own branch. And that's it. It's just like, yeah, like these jobs who making character designs, concept art, something like on a average level when it's not like really like outer work. This job will be AI. It's kind of already takes this job, right? But when you really need some new thing and really creative stuff, it should be like human touch there. It should be like human work. It will be like always different. You draw it with a hand like you have this kind of chain from your brain to your hand and then to paper. You cannot like I believe you cannot like imitate it, like, because not just because you cannot imitate it visually you can, but it's more than just a visual thing. It's it's kind of like people to people communication. uh, no, I don't know, like I look back on my drawings in the video when I need to edit a video or like post on Instagram. So I just kind of need to look my videos because of this. But I never interested to watch video of me drawing. It's kind of never have this idea. Let's see. So let's say art, right? Let's say um, mother sing song for its children, right? Like you want, like mother, like puts children to sleep and want to sing song for them. You can ask like AI to do this, but as a mother, kind of, right? Like whole point is to mother do this, because it's not just about like off your children so they like time to sleep. No, it's about interaction. It's about this experience and communication, and nothing can substitute this. And it's like hard to explain difference, but it's something like you should not explain. It should be like clearly, crystal clear, kind of obvious, you know. So it's only can be done this way. That's it. So like in a communication, yeah, I can talk to robot, but I prefer talk to human. And it's not because human can speak better than robot. No, it's just because I want to speak with human. And same with art. Like I just want to see how somebody like me makes some stuff, and like he have some story which is based on his human life experience, and there is certain process happen in his mind which allow him to express this experience. So let's say, like I say, this situation, like case when it's like one example, like mother sing to children, right? What other like I can see and see cases, uh, music, for example, like people celebrating life, right? When they just like express their joy, maybe some kind of epiphany, even, like when you're just really kind of hallelujah, you're like, I'm so happy to be alive. Just like, look here, look there, it's amazing, life is great. So you kind of celebrating life. That's it. There's nothing like very sophisticated. There's nothing about like being like find something original way. No, it's just doing natural kind of thing. But we need this or other one, like maybe some kind of hard feelings, some drama, some um or cheering up. One thing is like some dudes like Manavar, they want cheer you up, like uh kind of this is like march, like a battle march. They want you to encourage you. And what kind of encouragement from robots I want? Like what kind of encouragement? No, it's also it's much cooler when it's like another human. He was like, yo man. It's like kind of like uh I get this idiom, kind of like hold yourself together kind of and go do your thing, something like this. Or anecdote, whatever. It's like it's totally like not replaceable. When humans do it, it's kind of its own genre. You cannot replace it. Yeah, watch Blade Runner now. Uh, why you want to watch Loki with a mother together? You should watch a movie Upgrade. It's also kind of about AI. That's too heavy. So here, control bus. You can send a picture in Instagram, private message. Mm. Yeah, this one better. Thank you, Huron. Yeah, Argentina, very cool. Argentina. It's Milei. It's Argentina president, right? Yeah, I think. Yeah, cool. Mm. Cool. Because I often like usually I hear about Argentina on Russian language, so sometimes like take time to realize what kind of country talking about. So here we have car. What to do? It's like this. Yeah, there is like many Russian expats like living in different countries. So sometimes it's just more convenient to listen their blogs than on English. Like when draw on background. Так, so here are some buildings. So now I think I don't want to make it too organized. Need also maybe like little break this perfect structure. So kind of this. So it will be like just more. It's also kind of about making rhythm. When you make this like perfect curve, it's too mechanical kind of, which also like rhythm, but is without interruption. But if you add this some incoherence kind of, it will also create this kind of like kind of obstacles on the movement. Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you, Ninjak. See you next time. Так, so let's see. So it's hand here. Так, so road here like this. Maybe one more car. Fly like that. Try with this. I think you have like boots. this? Oh, this cat on my lips. It's like sit is very like became like hard to sit, but then also when you have cat on your legs, it's really like stopping blood. Oh, say hello. Oh. Walk. Let's see what can I do here. Really need to, like I say, more focus here on a pattern. Otherwise, it became like a random. Так, some cars. So like bus here. Vehicle here. Surpass. A kind of zebra. And zebra here. Some people walking. Oh, this is так. Let's I'm interested in how to arrange shading here. It's like, aside from reference, total improvisation, walking on a thin ice. It's like, not sure what will happen next. Okay, maybe do here shadow this way. Because this like also this kind of reference, it's too many information here, and also structure little different. So I reorganize.
Madness. This is Jane Bond art.
So so I reorganize actually this with my perspective grid, and also I exclude a lot of elements because this just look like over yeah, it's like overwhelming amount of details, so you need to actually exclude many of them. That's why I see this principle, this practice is so essential to work on, to actually to create any kind of work, but also especially for drawing with a reference, because we always need a reference. You cannot draw like, you cannot know like everything or imitate everything. You need to base it on some real material, like I don't know, like interior of submarine. Like you need some reference for this, or like helicopter and stuff like that. So, but how to use this reference to be able to make something your own, to be creative, not just like copy from reference. So you make like a trace of photograph, you know, to make sure you don't trace in, but make something creative. You need to use this approach of deconstruction and reconstruction. So it's kind of sequence as a analysis, deconstruction, and rebuilding. Like you, because your analysis and deconstruction is you kind of like reveal constructive elements. You say, okay, this scene built by like build of these elements. There is structure and there is parts, objects. You recognize this object, you kind of distinct them, right? So, and then you can rebuild same with remaking construction, like establishing construction and injecting these elements and objects inside your structure, inside your construction. Hello, Domino. Thank you. And here I showing this in my videos. You can find a lot of video where I explain how it works. Maybe I can make also a separate video where I will like only explain this stuff. But generally I talking about this all the time. Так. Maybe now can use Uritake Pento. Let's see. Okay. Some kind of this. I'm not often use blacks, so I need more practice with this. Anyway, kind of this. Yeah, maybe a little more dark here. Usually I like to take kind of 1 hour break to look later how to finish. So it will be more like with a fresh head. It's kind of like a very nuanced thing. Yeah, let's have it here. So maybe right. Later we'll finish and post finish result. Thank you for watching. See you in the next streams.
This is Jane Bond Art.